Apes, we now have definitive proof that there is over 1.3 billion AMC shares outstanding, and this would make a lot of sense since we continuously buy the dips and buy the stock, but it doesn't seem to affect the share price very much. So this does make a lot of sense. We're going to go over this definitive proof so you guys are all on the same page. So drop that like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell. So let's just talk about where we are currently at. We're up 7% for the day at $43.74. So we're looking very good, looking for this breakout to the upside. Now, it's very helpful to know how many shares are outstanding, to know if what we are buying is actually synthetic shares or if these are actually legal shares. And as we do know, as we have known for quite a while, we are probably the ones buying most of the synthetic shares. But let's get into this. This comes from User of Intellect on Twitter. This is a thread 1 out of 4. It says, this weekend I went through all of AMC 13F, no port NP ETFs and 13G filings to get some insight into synthetic shares. Result, there are at least 1,364,729,305 shares out there for AMC. Here is the Excel file. You could go through the whole Excel file. I will have this link down below in the description. It basically just goes through in order, the biggest firms down to the smallest firms, but we can pretty much do the same thing. Even just on the Fintel data, that kind of proves what she is saying right there. But let's get into it a little bit more. This number says that 1 to 2.5 billion synthetic shares I calculated previously based on Say Vote using statistical software with 99% confidence interval. Perhaps maybe because these filings are quarterly and delayed. Here's the link to that post. And basically going over that post where there was that whole big debate of up to about 5 billion synthetic shares based off of how many apes had voted, how many shares they have based off of a mathematical calculation. But that is not important at this current time. So 3 out of 4. Current shares per 13F and no port NP filing, 200,834,928 shares. ETFs, 25,111,423. Institutional owners, 13G filings, 46,980,510. So total non-retail shares, 272,945,861. Now let's just see what Fintel does say about that. And institutional shares of 158,274,840 comes out to 30% of the total float. But Fintel does not capture all of the different data points that she is going over in this calculation. So this calculation is actually correct. It says retail owns 80% of the float and the rest own 20%, 273 million. So there are at least 1,364,729,305 shares out there, because as we do know, if we just did some basic calculations here, which I did this in this video right here, 80%, I did 83% of the total outstanding shares. If the legal shares outstanding was 513 million, comes out to 410,664,152 shares. So that is how many shares that we do collectively own. As far as Adam Aaron is concerned, he did just recently confirm that we own over 80% of the float. So I did this calculation going very, very, neutral on the whole thing, right? I only said 83%. There is probably more shares owned by apes than 83% of the total float, but I just did 83% of the total float to be very conservative. And based off of my estimations just in this video, which was August 19th, so we didn't even have all of the filings out, I did indicate that we had at least 584,341,594 shares that are outstanding. So there is obviously a lot more to this calculation that this lady did do. So big shout out to you. And it is looking like we do have 1,364,729,305 shares out there, which we have these updated filings. We have all of this information. You guys can go download this file if you guys want. Like I said, link down below in the description. But this number does make a lot of sense based off of supply and demand. If we are buying synthetic shares, it's not really influencing the price like it would if these were all legal shares and this was a controlled float. As we do know, all of these synthetic shares, they were created by a lot of market maker activities, especially revolving around the option chain. When a lot of options are bought, there's a lot of naked shorting that is going on. All of the shares can't be accounted for. If we continuously buy the stock, all of these synthetic shares, they're really in a pickle what to do if, let's say, 1.3 billion people or shares are supposed to be outstanding, but there's really only 513 million that are legally outstanding. Then what do you do in that situation? You really can't do very much. And I think that's why the SEC is not really looking into the situation very much, because that would just unearth a huge disaster of the financial industry, of the stock market, and there's not too much they could actually do to rectify the situation. So that is what we're currently looking at right now. Just to reiterate, the current shares 13F and no port NP filings, 200,843,928, ETFs 25,111,423, institutional owners 13G filings, 46,980,510. So total non-retail shares, 272,945,861. Retail owns 80% of the float, and the rest own 20%, 273 million. So there are at least 1.36 billion shares outstanding. So 4 out of 4. There are possibly a lot more shares out there because not all are reflected here. I also tried to cross-check to make sure there are no double counting, so I deleted many rows of data just to be conservative. This data may be slightly inaccurate, but you get the picture. And where she breaks it down is very thorough. So definitely check that out if you guys do want to. So that is going to wrap up this video. That is all we do have as far as this is concerned. Let's just go back to the Fintel data just so you guys do know. And this is even indicating 30.84% institutional owners. If we own 80% of the float, that would still put us at 110% of the total outstanding shares. And this isn't even considering all of the other avenues that she did actually go into depth on. This is only the 13D/G filing. So drop that like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell. Also check out the 3 links linked down below in the description. There is a link for a free Discord chat all about AMC stock. There's also a link for the buy and sell alerts. We've been making a lot of trades over there, taking a lot of profits today. It is very inexpensive, so check that out for yourselves. Also, there's a link for public. Get up to $70 in your choice free stock. It only takes about 3 minutes time to receive that free stock. They also do not use payment for order flow. So definitely check those 3 links out. I will see you guys in follow-up videos. You guys take care.